Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Allison Clarke and I am a senior portrait and wedding photographer based out of Southern New Hampshire, and I'm also an educator for those who are just starting their own photography businesses as well. It is now week 2 of the little camera basics series that I'm doing this month to help you all get to know your cameras that you might have gotten for Christmas or over the holidays. This series is designed to help you guys switch over from shooting in auto mode to manual mode so that you can control your cameras even better and get the images that you've always dreamed of. And this week we are going to be talking specifically about aperture. To put it simply, aperture is the size of the opening in your lens. If you look at your camera, as you crank your aperture up and down, you should be able to see the opening in your lens getting bigger and smaller. Like shutter speed, aperture plays a huge part in how much light is let in to hit your sensor. The wider your aperture is, the more light is let in, and vice versa. If your aperture is smaller, then less light will be let in. So if you have an aperture of 1.4, that means that the opening in your camera is really wide. Or if you have an aperture of 16, then the hole in your camera or the opening is really small. This concept is extremely important because it also controls depth of field. Depth of field basically refers to how much in front of and behind your subject is in focus. When someone says that you have a shallow depth of field, that basically means that your subject is in focus, but everything in front and behind it is out of focus. This would be really helpful if you're trying to photograph a portrait or some kind of subject that you want the entire focus to be on that one subject. Vice versa, if you're shooting at an aperture of like 16 or 22, almost everything in front and behind your subject will be in focus. This is super helpful for landscape photographers especially, as they're usually trying to get everything from the lake in the foreground to the mountains behind it all in focus. Hi, oh thank you. Oh thank you. Oh thanks. Oh, that's so nice of you. Now, if we want to throw back to last week and combine this concept with the concept of shutter speed, we can talk about that dark room situation. For those of you who didn't watch, we're thinking about a time when we might be in a dark room, but we're trying to photograph a subject that's moving. You would want your shutter speed to be high to freeze the motion of that person moving, but since you're in a dark room, you can't have it be too high, otherwise not enough light will hit your sensor. So if we add aperture into the mix, we now know that a wider aperture lets in more light. So we can crank up our shutter speed to freeze the motion of the person moving, but we'll keep our aperture wide so that a lot of light is still coming into our sensor and our image is properly exposed. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to be here next Friday when we talk about ISO, and make sure to hit that like button if this video was helpful for you. And leave a comment if you have any remaining questions or if you have any ideas for videos that you would like for me to make in the future. Thank you guys so much for coming to my YouTube channel today, and I can't wait to see you all again next Friday.